Welcome back to the Born in 46 podcast. This is Drew Kauffman for Ryan Waring. We are back for a special early spring edition to talk about the 49ers quarterback situation. Now, this is a crazy situation. We talked on the phone a couple weeks ago, Ryan. I was pretty upset because, like I said, it feels like the Red Sox from 1918 to 2004. Um, it feels like, any other team that has a long span between championships, it's almost 30 years since our last championship, 6 NFC championships in the past 10 years, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and we have no hardware. So we got the perfect team, the perfect coach, the perfect coaches, except we don't have a quarterback.
That seems to be the case, my man. I completely agree. The frustration's real. We watched the NFC Championship together. Um, and yeah, man, never want to feel that again. So, what are we going to do about this quarterback situation?
And if you don't mind, let me set the stage for the NFC Championship. So I was watching it with you. Brock Purdy gets hurt. It's just a dumpster fire. It goes downhill, and you disappeared for a good hour.
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
do?
First time that's ever happened.
What did you do? You went into a quiet spot and stared at the wall. Like what was going on there?
Yeah, man. I went upstairs. It was at my brother's house, obviously, as you know. And I just knew, man. When Josh Johnson came out the field, I was like, that's a wrap, man. Went upstairs. I think I was tired from all the emotions and I just laid down, and I think I even took a nap, dude. I My brain already knew that it was over and kind of cashed in. Already looking forward to the next season. And I think the team already knew that as well.
And that's just become a common theme, like looking forward to next season, looking forward to next season. I love Kyle Shanahan. Um, but at some point this has to change, and so that's why we're here. So I'm going to give you my pieces of evidence to react to first. Did some research. I want to play some sounds for you. We'll react to each clip of sound. This is exciting stuff. I can't wait to play it. So my take is that Tom Brady is going to be a San Francisco 49er. Okay? And I have some evidence to prove it. And my first piece of evidence, I'm going to play the clip. This is Colin Cowherd about 2 weeks ago, reputable source. He has insiders in the NFL. And we're going to go ahead and play this clip, and you can react to it.
This is a quarterback-friendly offense, not quarterback-centric. They don't need you running out of plays. They don't need Aaron Rodgers. They don't need Josh Allen. What they need is a distributor, a Chris Paul, not a Steph Curry. And there are real concerns inside the building if Trey Lance can do that. He does everything well except throw the ball accurately. This offense wants one thing: throw the ball accurately. Also today, another reason why I buy into these Brady stories. If Aaron goes to the Jets, and if the Eagles lose 2 or 3 players to retirement or free agency, and I think it's going to be more than that, the Niners with Tom Brady would absolutely be the overwhelming favorite in the NFC. Not even a debate. Philly's second, but they could lose their center. They could lose 2 or 3 free agents defensively. So somebody I trust outside of this building at Fox told me a couple of weeks ago, they said, I don't think Brady's going to be a broadcaster anytime soon. I think he wants to play.
Okay, so what do you get from what I get from that is somebody I trust is what he said. Somebody I trust. So he interviewed Tom Brady right before the Super Bowl. Tom said, I'm going to start broadcasting 2024, not 2023. He's going to give himself a year. I think that year is to be like, fill this out. Do I still want to do this? So one more piece of audio to play for you that drives this point home is Tom Brady getting nostalgic about San Mateo, the Bay Area, coming back home. His parents barely flew to Boston, barely flew to Tampa to see him play. This right here is a good piece of evidence. So Ryan, I'm going to play this. After this piece of audio, I want you to react.
All right.
love the 49ers. I loved them through college. And then when they skipped over me 6 times, I started hating the 49ers. And that's just the way it went down. And never got a chance to go out there. I was supposed to go out there in '08, and we had it all set up. We were talking all off season. My first time going out there, and then tore my ACL in week 1. So I had to wait another 8 years. I went to the new stadium, so I never even got to play in Candlestick. And then had the one experience, which was really fun. And it was just great after the game. It was nice for my parents not to have to travel and go to a game for once. So it's nice to go to them. So I'll have a great group of family and friends there that are all supportive. People from growing up in the neighborhood. You know, my parents still live on Portola Drive in San Mateo, same house I grew up in. And, you know, I was just a lucky kid growing up in the Bay Area. It was a great place to grow up in.
What do you get from that? So what I heard was I was pissed off when they didn't take me in 2000. I only got to play there, was it one time this last year?
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
so you didn't
Yeah.
see the video, but when you see his eyes light up talking about the Niners, I feel like there's something there.
Yeah, and to that point, I remember when funny enough, Purdy's first NFL start was against Tom Brady, and it was in Levi Stadium. And of course, Tom Brady came, and I mean, he was taking pictures of the trophy case and all the, the Hall of Fame that we have, and really soaking it in. So I mean, you can tell. I mean, he definitely is about the 49ers, and he's a big time fan. I think that was something that he's always wanted to do in his career. So I don't think it's super far fetched to think that this is going to happen. I don't know if I think everyone took his retirement with a grain of salt because it's Tom Brady. So it's not out of the realm. Now it comes into how much is he going to ask? Is it going to be a 1-year deal? Is it going to be a 2-year deal? What are your thoughts on that if it were to come alive?
I would say it's a 1-year deal realistically. All the chips on the table. Let's get that ring. Last time was 1994. Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders. Let's get that ring. And then Kyle can be like, let's figure it out. The York family, let's figure it out. Because let's give Niner fans really what they need is that one ring. And then let's just figure it out. Tom, if you want to retire after this year, that's fine. We're going to give you a 1-year contract. We have the most complete defense. You have Brian Greasy as a quarterback coach. You guys were in college together at one time at Michigan. You crossed paths. He's a great QB coach. We have Christian McCaffrey. You can dump it off to him. Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. He's your Gronk again. I mean, it's just the most ideal situation. If you were to pull all 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, what's the most secure landing spot in the NFL? 31 would say the Niners except Patrick Mahomes. 31 quarterbacks would say I would want to play for the Niners, and secretly Patrick Mahomes wouldn't mind because we are a better team. We fucking destroy the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. So that's just where I sit. So I'm going to play one more piece of audio. This is Kyle Shanahan right before that Niner game in December. And this is what he said about Tom Brady right now.
Command of the game and knows how to win it and what it takes, whatever that is. He's kind of flawless in his technique, how he gets everyone the ball. And he's done that his whole career. But his throwing mechanics, they only get better each year. So I feel like his arm's stronger now than it was 10 years ago. And his legs move just as good as they did 10 years ago. They weren't great then. But he's extremely efficient and quick in the pocket and knows where to look and knows where to get the ball to. And he's still the best to play.
So to me, he said his arm is better than ever. Okay, so take what you want, and arm strength in this offense doesn't matter. It's get the ball to the right person at the right time. Dink and dunk, find the open guy. His offense is designed to the guy is wide open. That's the Kyle Shanahan offense. The schemes are so complex. and the run game is so complex to where the defense is anticipating run a lot of the time. And when the passing game really hits, guys are wide open. So what do you take of that
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan comment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that would be the answer, all 32 coaches would have in the league about Tom Brady. I don't think there's one person that thinks that Tom Brady can't play in this league whenever he wants, right? But then you see the eye test last year, and I saw a completely different Tom Brady. I saw a Tom Brady that was rattled in the pocket. I saw a Tom Brady that was more immobile than I've ever seen. Obviously, he's never been known for his legs or his escapability, but I mean, seriously, he would fall down if the wind blew too hard, it looked like. um, he had his lowest QBR in his whole career, 52.5. And I just know what we have with Brock Purdy. So my take is, all right, what do we need to do to withstand this until Brock can come back? I'm a firm believer. He had a successful surgery, UCL surgery. Should be thrown in about 3 months and ready for practice and for gameplay in 6 months. You listen to Shanahan. He's been interviewed about this situation as well, the QB situation. He said we have two starters. It's a luxury. So he still does believe in Lance as much as we don't, right? Like the fan base, the whole NFL, it's unproven. But when you spend that much and when you put all the chips in for one guy, you have to see him through. It's got to be gut wrenching. Now, if you go with Tom Brady, you got two formidable quarterbacks or one formidable quarterback, one question mark quarterback, still in the same situation we are today. And it's still not proven if Tom Brady, is the QB that we can even keep him healthy. We have question marks on right tackle because Mike's going to be gone. I don't know, man. I think it's a hot take. I think that it's a sexy pick. I think it's definitely headline news. But in my opinion, I think that the 49ers are going to go with what they currently have. I think Lance, they believe in that development there. So he's obviously going to be the starter, I think, week 1, with Brock Purdy not being 100% behind him. And then if he comes out the gate swinging and starts throwing bombs or, let's be honest, just limiting mistakes and just wins football games, it's going to be hard for Brock to get on the field at that point. I don't think it's Brock's job anymore because of the surgery. But you heard Shannon say we have two starters, and then they even asked him about Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're like, no. So anyone who's watching this thinking Jimmy Garoppolo, that those rumors are dead. Jimmy's time here, I'm super grateful personally, as I'm sure a lot of 49ers fans are. We saw a lot of winning football, but on the tail end, how you started this podcast is, man, we're freaking sick of it. We have the most talented, stacked roster in the NFL. I don't think anyone else would argue us, both sides of the ball, and we're just missing a healthy quarterback, right? Day in, day out. So I think what we do is, I don't think we use a third round because I think we have 2 third-round draft picks this year. Is it 2 or 3? I think we have 2, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. So some people are saying, are we gonna move up? I don't think we're gonna move up. I do think we'll see more trades. Last year we didn't even trade 1 draft pick, which was uncharacteristic. But I think there's a lot of talented QBs in the middle rounds. We'll probably pick one up in like the 5th round, 6th round, and then I think looking at free agency, we got to look at a cheaper veteran quarterback to sit behind. That way we don't have Josh Johnson should things go awry. A name that comes to mind is, I mean, there's a couple. There is definitely a couple, but I like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold myself.
Okay, so go through your list. You have a couple guys you want to mention. Let's hear them.
Yep. So I like Sam Darnold because he's not going to be very expensive. I don't think he's proven to be as expensive. He's never really had talent around him. He has plenty of arm strength. He can make good decisions in a scheme like Kyle Shanahan. And I think with Kyle Shanahan, everyone's watching him and everyone knows that in his scheme, like it's a quarterback friendly scheme, right? He doesn't ask too much of the quarterback. So it's like, can we have someone to drop back and make, 10, 15-yard West Coast offense type throws? Sam Darnold, I think, fits that mold. I did not write it down, but the Saints did sign Derek Carr. And who was the redheaded quarterback that they had?
Yeah,
The
Andy
Red
Dalton,
Rifle.
the Red Rifle. Yeah.
Andy Dalton, right.
Oh,
So even in
really?
Andy Dalton, I
Andy
think.
Dalton?
Even in Andy Dalton.
Oh,
Yeah.
come
I'm not these guys, look, these guys I'm not picking these guys to start week 1. These are backups. These
on.
are
Okay.
cheap veteran
Okay.
players that have been around the game that can step in and be better than Josh Johnson. Okay. So let's
Gotcha.
just get that clear. I'm not trying to say these guys over Tom Brady or these guys over anyone that we have in the office right now. It's just, can we get someone that we feel comfortable, throwing in the game and still winning games at a lower price, that have been around the game, that know the game, that are smart, that still have a decent arm. And those
Gotcha.
are the two guys that stood out to me.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I mean, if you're looking for a backup, solid backup, talent has not been the issue. Trey Lance is as talented as they come. Brock Purdy looked
Yep.
as talented as they come. I mean, I was banging the drum for Brock. He was in college. I mean, this dude was a legend at Iowa State. It's health. Jimmy, Brock, Nick Mullins, you go down the list. Trey Lance, guys just get hurt all the time in the quarterback position. I mean, 2020, we saw like the whole team in the stands. I remember, like you would see Nick Bosa and George Kittle like in the press box. So
Yeah,
it's not about like talent. Like these guys are talented. Tom Brady has not got hurt since 2008. Tom Brady was suspended in 2016 for 4 games. He is available. Aaron Rodgers is available. Like we need available, good, solid quarterback play. To me, another guy who has mostly been available, he was the backup to the Red Rifle, Jameis Winston, Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 pick in the draft, still talented as hell. Yeah, he threw a lot of picks a couple years ago with Tampa. I would say that's a guy that could come in and compete. Okay, another guy, he's 23 years
and
old.
here,
Yeah.
real quick. So sorry. All right, so Tom Brady's definitely at the top of your list, correct?
Tom Brady's at the top of my list because
So
I don't trust he's 45. Do you really believe he's going to step away? Do you really in your heart of hearts think that that's it?
I think he's going to step away unless it's a perfect situation like the Niners. I couldn't see
That's
him
not
coming back to the Jets. Honestly, I couldn't.
No. He ain't
So I
coming
think he's
back
going
to
to
the
stay retired.
Jets. No. He
Nah.
grew up a 49ers fan. He was in the stadium when Dwight Clark made the catch. He's a lifelong 49er fan. Like we go through the list of lifelong 49er fans. He's the best. His family is still there. You're telling me he wouldn't want to move right back to the Bay? 1 year, end your career on a high note. You're going to get the team you grew up with, the 6th ring to tie the Patriots and the Steelers for most all time. Like, it's just the perfect story. And come on, if Tom wanted to come out of retirement and play for the Niners, he could, and we would win the Super Bowl. You tell, like, we would win the Super Bowl. Like, it's
Yeah,
almost
I
too
don't. I
Hollywood
don't
to be
think Tom
Hollywood.
still. I don't.
I
The
mean, I think he
storyline's
can.
perfect. I just.
You think, okay, you can say what you want about Tom last year. There were some game-winning drives on primetime TV where he pulled the rabbit out of his hat, 2-minute drills,
Yeah.
and like he's still got some shit in the bag.
Yeah. I'll say that. I mean, he still's got that clutch factor, but I mean, I'd also watched those Thursday night games where he'd be playing, like the whole game, terrible football, and then his defense would keep him in the game so that he could have 2 good drives to win the game. So I definitely
Right.
see you there. Let's go down the list real quick because I know that you have another guy. So Tom Brady's your number 1. I think my number 1 would be Sam Darnold, but my number 1's a backup, so my number 1 is truly Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
All right, Carson Wentz. Can we agree on Carson Wentz being a no-go?
So Carson Wentz will be the starter for I'm trying to think of the worst team in this league, the Orlando Guardians, next spring. Next spring, pencil it in, Carson Wentz, Orlando Guardians. Okay, he's
All
done.
right, I believe it. Yeah, he's an XFL quarterback. Yeah. All right, Marcus Mariota.
I like it. No, I like it. I've always been a fan. He looked really good with the Raiders in splashes.
He did.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm okay with that too. But I'm not okay with the week 1 starter. I would still start Lance over Mariota.
Yeah.
But I think he would be a solid backup. Baker Mayfield.
I'm gonna pass.
I'm gonna pass too.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Sam Darnold's obviously my guy. Jimmy G, done. Teddy, 2 gloves.
I'm concussions, and I've seen his eyes closed too many times. Like, he almost lost his leg. He had a bad concussion last year. No, we're good. Injuries, like talent wise, he's okay. He could get the ball to the right guy, but he's another liability with injuries. So no.
Yeah, that's exactly my point too. I 100% agree. The last thing we need is an injury-prone quarterback on an injury-prone system. It seems. All right, this is an interesting one. Case Keenum on the cheap sheet.
Case Keenum, no. As a backup,
35 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'll take Brian Greasy over Case Keenum. Seriously.
All right. All right. Who's the 23-year-old you were talking about?
Okay, so I'll paint a picture real quick. So people talk about I think it's, what is the conference called? The WAC, I think, nowadays. So Steve Young played at Brigham Young. Steve Young got drafted by the Buccaneers, chose to play in the USFL, came back to the Buccaneers, struggled. Steve Young was not a starter until the age 31.
I already know where this is
ups and
going.
downs. Say what you want about Zach Wilson. Go back and look at that 2020 season. He was a junior, okay? So let's look at his senior year, would have been his first year in the NFL. Got a couple interesting stats. So Pro Football Focus gives a clean pocket grade. So that's one of their stats, clean pocket grade, ranking the highest in the nation. So he set a new Pro Football Focus record with overall passing grade of 95.5. Do you know which quarterback he topped? Which quarterback he took over in that ranking? It was Joe Burrow, the previous year's Heisman winner. Go back and look at some of those games. Yeah, there was some not so great competition, but that Coastal Carolina game, Coastal Carolina in 2020 was formidable. They were a hell of a team, and Zach Wilson had a great game. He led him back.
That was that game at like halftime where they like shoved him to the ground, right?
Yeah, they shoved him, but he got up and he had some dog in him. The New York media is not for everybody. Sometimes you go into New York and it's tricky. Zach Wilson, say what you want. He is fucking talented. He is. He's as talented as they come. You put him in the right system. I mean, it's going to be hard to get him because I'm sure the Jets, if they get Aaron Rodgers, they want to see if Zach can learn under Aaron. But I really do think that Zach Wilson's a possibility. Another thing on this list, Bill Belichick.
Before you go over to the next list, real quick, I will say I agree and have read the stats on Zach Wilson's clean pocket stats. But then you have to look at the when it's not a perfect pocket, he's the worst quarterback in the league. So you're talking about a system like he would drive Kyle Shanahan nuts, dude, with the type of decision making that he makes and the type of throws that he makes, just careless, not even looking, and he just hucks the ball up. He would be done. Crowd would be booing. Kyle Shanahan would have him in the doghouse by week 3. My opinion.
I mean, what other options do we have? Kyle Shanahan's, I love him, but his stubbornness has gotten us into this hole. If you really think about it,
we got Trey Lance.
We
He's
had
the
the chance
Ferrari.
to get Kirk Cousins. We had the chance to really get Matthew
Matt
Stafford.
Stafford.
We really had the chance to get Tom Brady. Like, yeah, you're an offensive genius. You're a great football coach. But at what point does this shit get old and you got to come away with something? Like, you got to come away with something. So if it's not Super Bowl this year, like, this is Super Bowl or bust. Seriously, like, this is Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah,
So
I
you got to
agree.
start putting balls to the wall, trying some new stuff. Call Bill Belichick if you have to. Hey, he didn't want Trey Lance. We know that. The reports have come out. Kyle Shanahan did not want
You
Trey
want a
Lance.
Mac?
He wanted Mac Jones. Call Bill Belichick, get him on the phone. You want Jimmy? Seriously, we're going to send you back Jimmy. He knows the offense. You're comfortable with Jimmy. What would it take to get Mac Jones? We'll send you Trey
Jimmy's
Lance.
a free agent, dude.
Okay, we'll send you Trey Lance.
I don't think Bill Belichick wants Trey Lance.
I know,
I mean, you would still,
yeah,
you would straight up trade 1-for-1 Trey Lance for Mac Jones.
I would. These are hypothetical. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd try to figure something out. I just don't like that Kyle just kind of goes with the flow. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Are you kind of getting tired of
But
just, hey,
also on
we'll
the flip
see?
side, every single quarterback has been successful at some point under Kyle Shanahan since we got Jimmy G. I mean, the only one that hasn't is Trey Lance, but we haven't even seen anything.
They're
So
not
like this
healthy. Yeah.
whole, like I understand the whole panic and stuff, but I mean, right now we're looking at Trey Lance's ankle being good. Okay, he's
Mhm.
going to be healthy going into mini camp, and then we got a successful surgery for Brock. So I mean, we have two formidable quarterbacks that's going to be ready by week 1, and then another that's going to be ready by, week 3, week 4. Should Trey Lance not pan out, so that's why I like the safety net. I don't know if we have to risk it when we've seen a successful quarterback. We don't even know if Trey Lance would be terrible throughout the season. We
Yeah.
saw a
No.
monsoon game in
Right.
Chicago, and that's all we have to go with. One thing I will say though is Derek Carr, he's getting paid $37 million a year. Okay. And I guarantee you the Saints, they may win a couple more football games, but they're not going to win a shit. Okay. So it's like, what is the price of a Super Bowl? These teams are just paying out the ass to these quarterbacks, and they're not going to win a Super Bowl. And then here's another one, Daniel Jones, 40 a
Yeah,
year
I know, it's
for a guy
crazy.
that's never
Yeah.
going to pass for 3,500 yards. I mean,
No.
I
But
don't know, man. So like,
yeah,
and then here's one more thing. Sorry, before I let you go.
that's cool.
Another thing that actually goes to your point is that I do agree with you, Andrew, that the time is now. Okay, Matt Stafford, the Rams are all right. Geno Smith got paid however much, what, $30 million a year for the next 3 years. They're out. Cardinals are a messy organization in disarray. I'm not worried about them. The Rams are literally crawling around trying to pick up scrapes of what they used to be.
Yeah.
And Matt Stafford is costing the salary cap 20 mil this year,
Right.
49.5 mil next year,
What?
and 50 mil against the cap in 2025. And they don't even have a pick until 2025. So I mean,
Right.
this is our division. This is our time. So that's where we can agree is that, like, if it's not this quarterback, or if it's not Tom Brady, like, the urgency has to be there. If we don't see it with Lance, if the organization doesn't fully believe in him, we have to make a splash hit with Tom Brady, or at least have a formidable vet. We can't be rolling with what we have and then a Josh Johnson, or or someone with no experience. Like, I never want to experience an NFC championship that I did this year ever again. And I'm sure you can agree.
Yeah. Let me just paint a picture as we wrap up here in the next 10 or so minutes. Let's say next year we get to the playoffs and we don't make it. What's the prognosis? Like, where do we go from there? We just keep the Trey Lance thing and Brock Purdy competition going. We try to figure it out. We try to get a guy in the draft.
Well,
What
it
do we do?
depends on what fashion. What's the fashion, right? I don't think anyone could have seen this case happening this year where Trey Lance starts, right? And like week 2 gets hurt, and then Jimmy G, who wasn't even supposed to be on our team, comes in and then he plays great, and it looks like we got our team again. We're gonna make a run, and then he goes down, and then Brock Purdy, who was like, we're throwing darts. I thought Nate Sudfeld was gonna make the team. This freaking guy, last pick of the draft, comes in and beats him for the third spot. And he comes in and he looks like freaking Tom Brady from day one. Like, and then he gets hurt in a crazy fashion. So I mean, we've never seen it like this. So when you say we don't make it a Super Bowl, we don't make it to the Super Bowl, it's like in what fashion, right? Like if we have one quarterback,
Yeah.
it's Trey Lance, and we come up short. He's young, you know. Do we have something to build on, right? Or do you think we're pissed because we didn't make a splash for Tom Brady or any of the other, or Lamar Jackson or any of the big time free agents?
Guys are just running out of time. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, big parts of that
They have to be
defense.
re-signed. They're not running out of time.
No, I'm just saying it feels like the grains of salt are falling every year in the hourglass, and like time is running out for like this team. We said this in 2020. The window is closing. Here we are 3 years later. It's just, I don't know, it's just frustrating because just a team like this is just so talented. Like, man, it's tough to swallow sometimes, and it's not all Kyle Shanahan's fault.
Yeah.
Like,
because they
it's
put
tough.
this roster together, man, and I mean they are taking chances. How awesome is it that we have C-Mac, and we have Debo, like another C-Mac type player, and we have arguably one of the best tight ends in the league, and we have Brandon Ayuk, your favorite wide receiver. We have so many weapons in place, and then we'll have a healthy Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
We have a stacked roster, and we can take advantage of the cap and re-sign all these players with a rookie quarterback. Like if you look at all these young quarterbacks that did it, Joe Flacco, he was on his rookie deal, I believe his last rookie deal when he beat us. Who else? Ben Roethlisberger, when he won it, he was on the rookie deal. They were stacked teams. I mean, you can go on and on. There's not too many like high paid quarterbacks that win the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford is one, and it was probably just going to be 1 year. I think the only one that you can point towards is Pat Mahomes, and he is worth every single cent. He actually takes up 20%, and it's the first time in history that we've even come close to 20% of their entire cap. The team's entire cap space, 20%. But I mean, he's worth it. But you're already seeing them, like they lost Orlando Brown. They're losing, I think, another tackle. Juju is going to be gone. I mean, they're having to recycle players because they can't afford them. And we're in a unique position where, man, if we can get this quarterback thing figured out, we can pay all these players, and we can be the best team in the league. We just need a quarterback to stay healthy, right?
Yeah. So that's the frustrating part. We just need that one piece, and then once we get that piece, the sky's the limit. And man,
Tom.
I want Tom. No, I'm not just saying that. Like, I believe that he has that 1 year in the tank to really just get it done. Like, get us that ring. We'll retire. Actually, that number might be retired already, so we'll have to bring it out of retirement.
It is.
Or Tom. Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Brody, right? John Brody.
John Brody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll have to bring that number out of retirement and give it to Tom. But it'll be worth it. Like, we need to do something splashy because we're stacked on defense. We got just so much talent everywhere. Even Kyle Juszczyk, dude, this guy is fucking. He's a super freak athlete. So a lot of people don't talk about it enough. This guy is talented as fuck. Like, did you see that catch he made in the dodgeball game?
Pro Bowl games?
Or the flag football game? Yeah, like it's just laying out. Like, we got so much just talent everywhere. So
we can't waste it. I'm on board.
We can't waste it.
I'm on board with you.
Let's get some talent like Tom Brady. Yeah, I might have been digging for whatever, but I would love to see it. Other Niner fans, like in the comments below, tell us what
Yeah.
you think. Chime in. We'd love to hear it. It's not perfect. And if Trey Lance does his thing in 10 years from now, we're laughing like, oh, remember when we didn't think Trey was the guy? I'm all for it. So
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a crazy QB carousel here in the next couple weeks since free agency is opening up. So it'll be fun to see where players land. But one thing I do know is that I agree, man. We have the team. The time is now. And man, if Tom Brady does get signed and comes out of retirement, man, I'm gonna be his biggest fan. Better believe. I'm gonna be standing out there with you. I'm not gonna be pissed at all. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
so if it happens, should we do like little bet or some kind of like a water bet? Like, okay, if Tom Brady signs, you have to put
Yeah,
like
you
a
can ice me.
yeah. That was gonna say they'll bring back the ice bucket challenge. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. You can ice me. Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So
And I won't make you do anything because more than likely he's not going to be picked up. So
yeah, yeah.
stay tuned. If Tom Brady does get picked, and I'm gonna do it happy with a smile on my face. Andrew is gonna pour a big bucket of ice all over me.
There you go. So one last thing. Give me one name of one just random obscure guy that you would like to see at quarterback that we possibly could get before we go.
It's a good question. All right. All right. How about this? So it's outside the box. Um, and I don't know if it's gonna like fit the best because I know that the Niners and I know Kyle Shanahan loves his veterans, but let's say Aaron Rodgers signs with the Jets. I could see the Niners going out and getting Mike White.
Ooh, Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
do
we
like the
trade for
Mike
him.
one.
Trey Lance saying it. And Mike White, I mean, man, he looked freaking awesome. On the Jets,
Yeah.
he looked awesome. Right. And so for Kyle Shanahan in a similar style of offense, like I think he could eat with all those weapons. He looked great. Assuming that he can still walk, throw, and run after getting crunched. He looked great. And he's young. What is he?
Yeah. 25,
27 years old. He's
27.
ready to
Okay.
rock. Yeah. He needs a chance, right? So is he really just going to sit there behind Aaron Rodgers, or is he going to look to play? And we need a formidable starter, and he proved it last year.
I like that one. Mike White. You got it on tape, so that's all that matters. Something to
Let's
play
go.
back if it happens.
That'd be wild.
All right, buddy. It was fun talking to you. Niners talk. We'll see what happens as the league year begins here shortly. And hopefully more podcasts coming. If Tom Brady comes, we're hopping on here again. So actually, if any big
Yes,
splash
sir.
comes, we're hopping on here again. So let's do it.
We're bringing it back, baby. Born in 46.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. And all right, man. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time.